Yes, when we dip, this is an excellent, because it happens, like Fernanda says, it's not archaeology or history, it happens now. When we dip the bread in oil, in a way, this is a movement. Not just that the bread, like Fernando says, the value of bread in Hebrew is 78. So the movement is already embedded in the bread, 78 from 7 to 8. When we dip the bread, which is marked by the 7th day, with oil, we are moving from 7 to 8. We are moving from the world in time, bread, to, in a way, outside of time, the realm of oil or the realm of the soul. So whenever we dip, in a way, the bread in oil, what happens? There's a transformation between the bread, it's like a bodily life, yes, the bodily life, to the life of the soul. Is it understood? This little act of dipping bread in oil mirrors the movement from the life of the flesh or in time to the life of the soul, which is limitless. Is it understood, this example? Because everybody's experienced, I believe, at least once, even, how do you say, innocently doing this action or just movement in the plate. You don't even need to, how do you say, to have a certain intention or something. Just the movement of this bread in oil, this is, and the taste of it. Yes, the taste. Because the bread is a movement. We managed, yes? Okay. Now, this is what Felipe was speaking about last time. You remember Felipe says, we live without symbolism. So it's like we eat whatever and we go whatever. And this little movement, once you dip the bread in oil, nothing can touch you, nothing can threat you. You see? The significance is the symbolism that Fernando and Felipe are speaking. When you dip the bread in oil, even if at home or in a meal or let's say holiday meal or whatever, Boker Tov, Cindy, happy to see you here. You dip the bread in oil, nothing can touch you, nothing can harm you. You taste infinity. Yes? Dipping bread in oil. You can also in salt, because we have at home also this salt that you take crystal with all kinds of herbs together, like, doesn't matter, just to give it, and you taste infinity. This is, nothing can take you, nothing can torture you, can harm you, can make you miserable, can push you to the wall, nothing. This is it, nothing. So when we, and this is the blessing to Asher, to be present. Yes. Yes. Yes, it is. Connecting finite to infinite, while dipping bread in oil. And this is the blessing for Asher. Asher is the 8th son of Jacob. Asher Shamna Lachmo. Asher. It's not also just we say Asher or Asher. Yes, it means also happiness. Osher, the same letters. Yes, Osher with a different pronunciation. Osher, it means happiness. And this is the happiness, to dip bread in oil. Nothing can touch you. Nothing can harm the soul. Nothing can touch the soul. Nothing. Nothing. Yes, Rodrigo, it's interesting that when we think about symbolism, we seem to become more aware. Yes. Yes. Yes, that's correct. Because what happens with the bread? It comes from the wheat. The wheat is gold, like the sun. But the wheat has to go through process, yes. First to put the grain until it grows, Yes, has to come across winter and snow, and then there's sun of spring. It pops. We go for harvesting, and then we take the process of milling. I mean, harvesting the wheat and milling, and there's like flour, and we add water and yeast, and then we have bread, and then we put it in the oven, in the fire, and so. So it goes from day one until day 7. Yes? So this is the progress in time. But it doesn't end in 7. It just transforms. Yes? This is what it is about. Yes, yes, yes. Everything that we do, and this is what I told also Felipe last time, because he mentioned that there is no symbolism anymore and no relation anymore. Every moment, every action, you can connect to the infinite. And this is in a way what, let's say, the sages are trying to tell us. Every moment that we take it as, in a way, not important or meaningless. It has a meaning. Like we say in Rosh Hashanah, there's a carrot eating. Carrot in English, yes? But also you can look at the letters in English and then still understand it, yes? Carrot, gazar. Gazar, gezer, carrot. Gazar, the verb to cut. So you eat carrot and you say that there will be, in a way, good decisions will come upon us. So there's a meaning for everything. Because the meaning is the connection to the infinite. Not to forget that there's like constant infinite present. Yes. Yes. This is it. This is it, Yanis. Yes. And this is the happiness. Asher is the 8th sun or the 8th day. Shemen also is associated with. It has the same value. Oil. Shemen has the same value like Shamayim, heavens, yes, above the earth. So he is the 8th sun, marks the 8 days, and his blessing is the heavens, the 8th day. And there's a beautiful movement. It's also happiness. Today I was thinking about the name of Isaac as he shall laugh, and this is the promise. And before there is a laughter, there, in a way, the parents need to transform. They transform their names. Abram becomes Avraham, Sarai becomes Sarah. And now the value of Abraham names is 248, which is also the value of Rechem, womb. In Hebrew, Rechem also understood as mercy. There is mercy, and also there's pity. And I thought today about the relation between self-pity and laughter. Because the tendency is to have self-pity. This is the tendency of the body, the brain, because this is what the broadcast that comes from the brain all the time, to have self-pity. We're miserable, we are victims, But the other side of this is laughter. To laugh at yourself. It happened to me today. Because like 14 days of war, you cannot go anywhere, you cannot go to the barber, you can't do anything. Yes, just to bring something from the supermarket and keep yourself sane and not to be harmed by missiles or any kinds of violence, sudden violence that can pop from anywhere. And I said, why? And it's like, oh, why? And then, and I thought, okay, so what? This is a moving thought that goes through you. Not that you're thinking it, yes? just moving thoughts that puts you, makes you little, makes you dependent on a barber or whatever. And I say the opposite of self-pity. The brain produces every moment like spider web, is laughter. I said laugh about it. Just laugh about it. Take the scissors, tack, make a ponytail, tack, 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 cut the ponytail in the front. Now open the ponytail, tack, 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 trim, just laugh about it. It's not real, all of this. At some days, at some point, it's over. So why so okay, there is a situation. Also in the corona, 2 years, people did not leave the house. We were trimming at home. But on top of everything, it's not just corona. It's just somebody's trying to kill you with drones, with rockets, whatever. And you notice that the soul notices that, okay, there is the bully, the brain wants to take over and to show you that you're miserable and you can never take care of yourself because you're just like a soldier now. But you know what? Take the time slowly, because everything is slow now after the war. Just laugh it. And I thought, this is, but the birth of Isaac is not just the birth of a child, of a baby, historical baby. It's the birth of laughter. The laughter that laughs at what? At time. At self-pity. This is the great thing that you can do, is laughter. I remember we used to go for, field trips. And sometimes field trips is like in scouts, you know. And the girls, they always need their conditions and their fan, and all kinds of things, and makeup. And sometimes the field condition is not so comfortable and cozy or whatever. So the girl's sitting there, but it's not like, it's not really. And the boys are just laughing at the wilderness, laughing at jokes, laughing of them farting, all kinds of ridiculous things, you know. So you can laugh, you know, you just can laugh at it. So after 1 hour, everything was there, came from the bathroom with a beautiful haircut. Just laugh about your stupidity. It's not our stupidity, but this is what the brain does. Produces all the time the spider web, yes, on every ceiling, yes, that makes us, again, victims. We are bullied by it. Not somebody else is bullying us now. This is the brain does. You will never get a haircut. You will never see a barber. And so on. Yes? And now we're sitting here. Yes, Cindy. Yes. Yes. Yes, this is a part of moving life. Yes. Yes, yes. Because nothing can be anchored or can be concrete, be under the concrete. Everything is moving all the time. All the time. And there's just movement that happens in life. This is it. And it's beautiful. So at a certain moment, maybe it's not comfortable, but you can laugh because, you know, life is not forever. I mean, soul is always there. So why to, in a way, lose those moments? Yes? And to surrender to the stupidity of this brain manufacturing. You can laugh of it and enjoy it at a moment. And yes. Because what is there to do? What? To believe that this moment is absolute? At the moment, there's conditions in the moment, yes? But what? To make a movie, and never go to the bar, never wild carrot in the garden. So stupid. Any questions? And in a way, this is what Weinreb tries to share in his book, the movement between the world of time to timeless, also in the desert as well. Beautiful song. Thank you, Fernando, for yesterday. Fernando had recorded a guitar, beautiful guitar, and the lyrics were coming at the same moment, and it came beautifully. If you would like to speak, Yanis, Fernando, Felipe, Jill, Rodrigo, please feel free. Cindy, please feel free. Yes, Yanis? So who would like to answer this question? Maybe Felipe, Fernando, would you like to speak? Would you like to open your mic and give Yanis an answer? What does it mean? Yes? Would you like to share? It's the beast in us. Yes? We don't tend to see ourselves as animals. We don't tend to see ourselves as beasts. We don't. But if you look at the biological system, we're not that different. So we are not, in a way, sacrificing anything. We're not doing anything. But getting closer, korban, it means to also to get closer, not just sacrifice in English. It means to get closer. So by removing this beast, this, let's say, this dressing of the beast in us, you can get closer to the source. Do you understand, Yanis? Canceling or removing the dressing of the beast, or the ability to see, just in a way, just leave this image that you get from the reading the Bible. Removing or being able to see beyond the technical movement of the beast in us. The ability to see beyond, yes, brings us closer. It's not like the English to sacrifice. Karov, it comes from karov. Weinreb also speaks about it, to get closer. If you see through the beast, if you see through the mechanical, then we're getting closer to the truth. Yes. Who needs it? You can ask, who needs it? Nobody needs it. In a way, all this binding of Isaac to bring the child as an offering, as a korban, so to speak, yes? What does it mean? Get closer and see. Yes, get closer to the perspective and see that you are not the father and he is not the son, and there's no need to sacrifice anything. Because in duality, in the world of duality, there are two. Yes, there's the person, and there's, so to speak, the sacrifice that he brings in the world of duality. But in non-duality, there aren't, in a way, there is no man and there is no sacrifice, because those are two. So only in the world of duality there's such a concept, because people cannot perceive or understand the one. It's a story. It's a story. You know how many people were crucified in the time? It's good that you ask, because we can always open a bit plot. How many people were put on the cross by the Romans? Because the Romans put him on a cross. How, this is just for general education. How many people, let's open a bit, let's open a bit and to show you how people build legends. 1 second, Yanis, what are you asking about? I don't quite understand. Cindy, how many, if everybody would like to take the chance, this is an open question, how many people were crucified by the Romans and put on a cross, except of Jesus? How many? How many? How how many? How? How many? How many were put on a cross, crucified to kill? Google says, very good. Google is getting closer. Yeah. 600,000. Yes. 600,000. Yes. You can open the Babylonian Talmud. They will tell you precisely how many. So, in a way, Google says 300. Babylonian Talmud says 600. It doesn't matter, but you see the range of numbers, don't you? We're speaking about between 300,000 to 600,000. This is not a little number. You agree? It's not little. So people speak about whom? Nobody speaks about those amounts of people that were, in a way, in one night gone. Nobody speaks about that. Why? Because it's the religion. Once you have religion, you have politics. And politics works through personalization. Through persona. Yes. So you see the numbers. 600,000, I heard even more. Open the Babylonian Talmud, there's not much lying there, just to tell you what's happening. So what happens, also this is interesting because religion, they take persona and they work through it. Yes? Jesus, suddenly you have Christianity. Islam takes Muhammad, you have religion. Those things are sitting on, how do you say? The cult of the person. Personal cult. Personal worship. This is not sitting on community, what we call today democracy. Yes, democracy is like the community, the spirit of the community, of friendship. Just to show you that everything is, in a way, had been instrumentalized. Who cares about the 6 million people that the Romans slaughtered? Who cares about those 6 million? Who cares? Who knows about them? Ah, there's persona. It's something else. And let's weave a story about it. It's good to open a bit the mind about what is happening. It doesn't matter. You speak about something that, in a way, it doesn't matter. What matters is what happens in the moment. You know, the brain has two friends. You know, what are the two friends of the brain? The past and the future. So even if you try to make something logical in the past or in the future, you're not being present at the moment. You know, this is the thing of korban, להתקרב, to get closer. You're in the past or you're in the future. You're not here. You're just busy with logical. I'm just opening it because people don't want to see that. Jesus, how many? 6 million they slaughter all over the Mediterranean. Who cares? Who cares? Questions? What we call today democracy is more like the spirit of the community, how the spirit goes. Questions? There's so much attention to something that is temporal. It doesn't matter if it's a beast or a body. There's too much attention on something which does not exist or exists in a temporal way. And there's so much investment in it. Bodies appearing, disappearing, birds are flying. They come from an egg, they fly a few years. Who noticed them? That there's always bird. There are all kinds of birds in the sky. When we see a sparrow, it's a sparrow. We don't know whenever the sparrow was born. Yes, there's just sparrow. Questions, Yanis, Fernando, Felipe, Gil, Rodrigo, something that you would like to share? Reina, we're very happy to see you, Reina. It's been a while, yes, it is. How is the weather in California today? Eternity never lies. Eternity never lies. The tree grows. It's not that the tree does something. This is life, motion, movement, moves through the tree, and the tree grows, so the birds are flying, and so. It's not man made. It's not a project. It's not a product. Life moves through us. We are getting oxygen, so we are incapable of breathing. We're capable of speaking because this ability is given to us from the soul. We just aren't able or incapable of seeing the soul. We call it brain, MRI, scan, and so. It comes from the source, and nobody can perceive it. No one, just no one. And this is something that people cannot measure, of course they cannot accept, because it's beyond any capacity. Something that yesterday we mentioned, or the Shabbat we mentioned, the story of that is mentioned in the book of Daniel. Yes, about the golem. We don't tend to see ourselves as clay doll puppets. Yes, we like to see the puppet show. Yes, but we don't tend to think that we are dolls or puppets made out of mud or blood cells. Now the question is how a blood cell, collection of blood cells, an organ can speak or move or can do something. How is that possible? How? How? If you take amounts of blood cells, move them together, even if you shape them, put bones in them, you shape all of the bones with the blood cells in the shape of human. Can this human breathe, walk, speak? Of course not. Yes, Felipe?
Hello,
Hello, good morning. How do you do?
hello, Eti. Hello, friends. I'm fine. Happy to hear you and happy to be here. And how do you do, Eti?
Happy to be here with you, and we are happy that yesterday there was a change, and in a way the children can go and play in the schools. Syria just fell into pieces yesterday. Regime of torture that used to torture people, their own people, for decades, and used to threat or life here in the region for decades. So there is a sense of that the pressure is being removed, and you can stretch a bit and inhale a bit, and yes, for so it's a new feeling. Like it's very slow, because the threat was so long and massive, but slowly now it's not moving into normalization. It's like just the pressure is being removed, so there's a natural breathing.
I'm glad to hear it.
Thank you.
I'm really glad because I mean, I cannot even imagine those kind of situations. We are uh, in a way far away geographically, but uh, I'm glad to hear your perspective, Eti, because um, I stay with you in this perspective of new life arriving, no matter what happens. No one can stop the flow. You know, you were just relating to in the beginning of the class. You were just speaking about those documents that were released and how and we perceive how insanity is weak. And after all, what overcomes about it is love and the happiness. And this is what I was just thinking of now with you, because um, we can relate these symbols that we discuss here. It's amazing how we can relate with everyday's life and even with our own beliefs, let's say, with our own perspectives. There are many times we can. Um, I mean, we were just speaking about this Christianity as well, and it's beautiful because myself, I just I many times I felt uplift by making those same relations with many aspects of the Christianity belief, it, which is what we are living. You know, it's our state of manifestation, and I am. I'm sure that this, let's say, structure that we study in the Hebrew and I mean the Hebrew sources and even our own sources that we produce and create here in conversations, they are so rich and full of meaning and so full of joy and life, Eti, that this is the truth for me, you know, because it relates for me. It relates with this great joy of life, and it makes me remember about this oiled bread of life. Just making this relation with oil and happiness and laughter. All those serious aspects of life, those harsh beliefs, those even those religions aspects that are so, you know, so serious, so um, serious looks like Syria, like, right? It is those are just overcome with joy, you know, when
Yes.
you can laugh about something, when you can really laugh about not in a ironic way, but in a genuine way, you can overcome all the sadness, all the violence, all the uh, everything that uh, keep keep us um, like slaves, you know. We can
Yes.
overcome with laughter. And just to conclude it, sorry for just digressing a lot, but I was just thinking about this Asher. this eighth son of Jacob that received this blessing of the bread, this blessing of the oil. And we know that, I mean, we relate with the eighth day, the Olam Haba, the word which is coming. And also he has the word Asher is in the middle of Ehyeh, Asher, Ehyeh. I am what I am, or I shall be what I shall be.
Yes.
And the relation that I just thought is that this happiness, this Asher, it makes the link, the hook between the being, the upper being, and this manifestation that we are. We can relate with it, with the being, with happiness. And this is just what I was thinking of. So in the end of the day, the one who can laugh really and be joyful, I guess he has it all. He has the ability of being alive, really, not being in struggle, but just being alive. And I'm sure that everyone here can remember someone in his particular lives that has this ability of laughing, of being joyful, and being grateful. And those people, they they have some kind of wisdom that you don't have to be an intellectual, but you feel that those people are really sage people because they can laugh and they can be joyful of life. And you know just this is what I wanted to share it in. And just thank you to be here.
Thank you so much. Yes. I see, Fernando. Thank you. Thank you, Felipe. Yes, also Asher appears in the combination of the words Asher, I shall be that I shall be. And this is the freedom of being, because what is the freedom of being? It's not locked in a shape or a form in time and space. This is the meaningful of freedom. I shall be that I shall be. I'm not abide, yes, to a certain controlled environment. Yes, the spirit is not, you cannot enslave the spirit. This is Ehyeh, Asher Ehyeh, because the conversation in the burning bush was, what shall I tell them to the Hebrews who sent me? Yes, and he says, Ehyeh, Asher Ehyeh. I shall be that I shall be. I'm free. I'm not abide to any form or to any appearance in time. You cannot jail or lock the spirit. This is freedom. This is also this is why it is associated with oil, with the eighth day, with laughter, with joy. When we smile or when we laugh, the mouth is in a way gets round like a smile. When people are nervous, or they let's say stuck in control, the sense of self-control, sometimes their lips are appearing like a line, like horizontal line, and the jaw are caught. Yes, this is the appearance of self-control. Like the dog, they close their jaw. And when we laugh, and there's sometimes a roll, we say a rolling laugh. Laughter is so round, everything becomes round. So in laughter, the brain has no part in laughter, because laughter does not come from time. It appears in time, but laughter or joy cannot come from time, only from the infinite, from the limitness, limitless, yes? Laughter can come, and comfort, and joy, and happiness. We can experience happiness in time, but the happiness or the joy are not coming from time. It's good to remember that everything here is so temporal, and there is no, like even Felipe noticed the linguistic connection between Sirius and Syria. The sense of seriousness, that we have some kind of a control above or about. We have no control. We are being moved or being animated by the source. All of us, humans, trees, animals, birds, fish, everything is being nourished and animated by the source. This is something that we cannot conceive, but this is the truth. And there's a great freedom in it, because we are not in charge. We are not in charge. And this is the happiness. Questions or thoughts or ideas to share, you're most welcome. You are in Miami, yes, Reina, you're in Miami. Happy to hear you. And with this beautiful, a feeling that something like a jail of, this is what the news is saying, that this regime that was controlling and torturing people for decades in Syria collapsed yesterday. And this was the beginning of the conversation, because in a way it happened in the 8th of December, and I just opened the conversation just trying to share Weiner perspective of the movement between the 7th day and the 8th day. In a way, everything started, the attack, the brutal attack, barbarian attack, started in the 7th, yes, of October, and yesterday the 8th of December. New life emerged. So there's a decay of the 7, the world as we know it just being destroyed, and a new world is being manifested or appears from the source, something that we cannot imagine that will happen. No intelligence organization in the world, doesn't matter, Americans, European, Israel, no, not single, let's say, news, or because they collect information all the time. None of those intelligent organizations in the world could forecast or foresee the falling of Syria. All of the organization built that the Syrian government or this kind of tyranny will continue to strive for the next decades. And suddenly it fell. And not because someone's merit, because it comes from the source when it fits, And the fact that no one could foresee this, like the falling of Berlin Wall. Somebody was trying to say it's more, I would say, in terms of if Berlin Wall was not predicted, you can say that this was not also predicted as the falling of Berlin Wall, but the meaning of this, what happens yesterday, is something which, let's say, has significance for Jubilee or a century from now. The meaning of the fact that this tyranny is gone. But again, nobody could predict it. With the best intelligence officer, and they have everything. They have everything. They can track, they can shoot every information, every message, and nobody could predict that. Because why? Because it's not coming from the manifestation. It is coming from the source. This is why we can never read reality. Because we can only build on what we know. Shlomo asked yesterday or the other day, what is the difference between knowledge and understanding? Knowledge is the meeting of two, like in the song. When you're happy and you know it, clap your hand. So when you clap your hand, yes, one palm meets the other palm, right and left, and they meet and you clap. This is knowing, the meeting of two. Yes, understanding is something else. There is a triangle. If I could use geometrical form, understanding is like a triangle. The understanding does not come from the linear connection, but outside of the linear connection. So knowledge is the meeting of the two. Understanding, you have already three. And I don't now open a board to draw all of the differences between knowledge, da'at, and understanding, bina. It is just to show us that no one can predict anything, even with all the control of the intelligence and spying and satellite and whatever people use to track, to code information. Yes, that is in duality. Yes, that is in duality. Yes. Therefore, yes, intelligence, we say in English, but shirutei modi'in, from that. Hebrew, we say intelligence services in English. In Hebrew, shirutei modi'in, agaf modi'in. It's like information comes from that. So all the intelligence, shirutei modi'in va'olam, were counting of what they know, what they track, what they have in their log as database of everything. One thing nobody can, in a way, predict is the zero. The source is always zero, is nothing. Nobody can take into consideration the zero. Only something, the one. Let's say, when I say 1 and 0, now I use in a way, this dualistic binary system. Yes? So we're always building on knowledge, on database, what there is. And so we can never, and this is the beauty of it, and this is why we are, as humans, are failing systems, failing to deliver system, because we can never predict a zero. We can never predict eternity. We can never predict what the source will bring in a moment for all of us. And this is a beautiful disaster. This is a beautiful disaster. Thank God we don't know it. We cannot calculate zero, because zero is nothing. Efes. Efes. Aleph, Pei. Aleph, Pei, Samech, Efes. Efes. It's also circle, but it's nothing. Yes. Pas, from pas. Yes. Aleph, pas. Yes, this is 1 for 1. Yes, 1 for 1. Moving from 1 to 4 to 1, once say Fernando coded it. So nobody can calculate 0. Yes, nobody can calculate a 0. So the 0, this is why we say 0 is not a number. It's not like 7 or 8, it's nothing. Nobody can calculate this nothing. And how many nothings will appear? So, because in 10, when we write the number 10, there's 1 and 0. In 100, there's 1 and 2 zeros. In 1,000, 1 and 3 zeros. We can never calculate how from the source something will pop and jump exponentially into reality. This is something that we can never do. Thank God. Just an example, just to about knowing. Just an example, it happened a few weeks ago in the Bay. We went to pick up a coffee in the coffee shop. Just for a moment, I went to wash hands. There was a man sitting next to a table. He was well dressed. Probably he was preparing for a, a meeting in work. So he was well dressed, and there was a PC in front of him. He was very occupied. What he's going to say, who's going to meet. He was roaring inside of himself. I came to wash my hands. I was passing through the table and I saw a cockroach. You know what cockroach is? Yes? 7-8 centimeter size. Yes? 7-8 centimeters, like almost like a cell phone size. Yes? He was wearing boots. He was well up dressed to impress or so, with boots, like half boots, like to show. I was going to wash them. I saw a cockroach, 10 centimeters, the size of a cell phone, walking on his boot, and and I said, "Please, there's a cockroach, 10 centimeters, walking on you." So he was so prepared, he was so dressed, he was so convinced he's gonna beat them, he's gonna do it. And I said, "There's a 10 centimeter cockroach at your shoe, at your boot." And I just was moving casually to washing, and I told the team as well, to the man, he was waiting for a meeting at the team of the cafe, and I said, "Please take care of it." And all the team just went to take this, and he was so shocked. Why do I tell you this? This is like, in a way, what happens to the intelligence services all over the world. People sit with what they know at the table, with laptop, with all the database, and everybody's processing like animals, the information like the beast. Nobody knows that there's a cockroach, there. It's not pleasant to dress up. It doesn't matter how you dress to have something like that walking on you. This is life. Everybody's there. I'll buy a house, I go on vacation, Nobody knows what is climbing up the alley. It could be a serpent also. It can be everything. But we are so sure that we know, well dressed, with aftershave for a meeting, And see, this is life. Who sent this cockroach? Who? This cockroach cannot move by itself. It's been sent. Just moves there. Why? Who knows? But it happened. To show us how it doesn't matter if it happened to the man, it can happen to anyone of us. We're so convinced that we are sure of the next moment, what we're going to do, what is our plan, how we build a strategy to overcome, to conquer, to occupy. Nobody knows what is happening there. Nobody knows. So it is beautiful thing of not knowing, and life managed to all the time to surprise us, and we can only laugh about it, about ourselves also, because we think that we are capturing. We capture nothing, we know nothing, and this is the great relief. So we can sing together and laugh together and meet together as a community. Thank you for coming here today. Wishing you a very good week, a beautiful season, and happy miracles all over the place. תודה and shalom. Thank you, Dela Reina. Thank you.